Thank you again for staying with us. I would now like to invite Dr. Markku Ellilä to just give us a short presentation. He is the CEO of the Technology Academy of Finland, and he will be presenting on the Millennium Technology Prize. Dr. Ellilä, please.
So good afternoon, everybody. I will be quite brief since I'm the person between you and your free time activities. But to get started with, I'd like to thank the NRF for inviting me to this wonderful event and also for inviting on a continuous basis winners of the Millennium Technology Prize as speakers here. As you may know, 3 out of the 20 speakers here during this week are winners of the Millennium Technology Prize. So I'll briefly tell you a little bit more about the prize and introduce the latest winner of the prize, and then tell you what is happening in the next couple of years. So, the Millennium Technology Prize is kind of supplementing the offering of this event by bringing you people that have done work based on science but have come up with technological innovations that are already commercially in use and accessible worldwide. So the home of the prize is in Finland, and it is our tribute to innovations that are done on a global basis. And we want to highlight the importance of technology in tackling the great challenges that we are facing in this world today. I mean, things like Earth's resources, the climate problems, biodiversity, and the ability to combat pandemics are so important that we want to recognize all the great achievements in those fields. The prize is 1 million euros, and it was first awarded 19 years ago. So next year, when we are awarding the next prize, we will be celebrating our 20 years of existence. The patron of the prize is the President of the Republic of Finland. And maybe for those of you who are not aware of the political system in Finland, we are a member of the European Union, and our presidents have a partly ceremonial role, but the president is also responsible for the foreign policy of the country in collaboration with the cabinet of the Prime Minister, who happens to be a lady at the moment who's 37 years old, and she's doing a very good job in this very challenging world situation. Going forward, I'd just like to show you the faces of the persons who have won the prize over the years. Out of these 12 individuals, 3 of them are speakers here during this week. I will start with the oldest winner. In 2004, 19 years ago, the winner was Tim Berners-Lee, who has invented the World Wide Web while he was working at CERN doing particle physics. I was at CERN at the same time with him doing my PhD, but I didn't do things quite his way, and also was not involved in the academia for another 25 years before I came to this job with the Technology Academy Finland. The second laureate was Shuji Nakamura, who developed the capability of making blue and white LEDs, which has led to, enormous energy savings in the world over the years. So it's part of the the lighting systems today are largely based on LEDs, and the energy that is needed for lighting up the globe has been reduced considerably due to his work. Well, yesterday you heard the presentation of Robert Langer, so I don't need to say more about that. Then another person who has several times been here in Singapore for GYSS is Professor Michael Grätzel, who was a major character in further development of solar cell technology. Then the next one was Shinya Yamanaka in 2012, and he has been one of the pioneers in ethical stem cell research. During the same year, in 2012, the other winner was Linus Torvalds, who is the developer and continues to be the father of the Linux operating system, which was mentioned yesterday in the supercomputer presentation, being the basis of all supercomputers of the world. And also Linux is the basis of the Android mobile phone operating system. In 2014, Stuart Parkin, who will be speaking here tomorrow, won the prize. And then Frances Arnold, who was working on directed evolution, got the prize in 2016, and then consequently she also got the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2018. Tuomo Suntola has been the developer of the ALD technology, which is atomic layer deposition technology, which is used in semiconductor industry, making microprocessors and mobile phone electronics largely. So that's a basis of very much of the communication and computing technology of today. Then David Klenerman was the speaker here 2 days ago, and he won the prize last year. The prize is the 2020 Millennium Technology Prize, but because of the pandemic, it was only awarded last year. So he got it together with Shankar Balasubramanian for the next generation DNA sequencing technology. And the latest winner who got his prize 3 months ago in Helsinki is Professor Martin Green from the University of New South Wales in Sydney for his long-term work on solar cell technology. And he will be telling a little bit about that himself. I hope he will also appear in the near future at this event.
I tended to do best at subjects that were difficult to understand, and you have to put in a bit of effort just to understand what the lecturer was talking about. And you know, one of them was semiconductors. It takes a fairly large barrier to understanding even the basics of the field. That as I grew a bit older, I was looking for something with a bit more social impact, and I realised that the expertise that I built up in microelectronics was really directly applicable to solar energy conversion using solar cells. To understand how a solar cell works, you first of all have to take Einstein's discovery that light, as well as being able to be regarded as a wave, you could also think of it as particles, particularly when light interacted with solid matter. You can think of the sun as shooting little particles at you called photons. And the solar cell responds to each individual photon. So the photons enter into the solar cell material, and the energy that the photon has is given up in exciting electrons within the solar cell material itself into higher excited states where they're free to move through the silicon material. And then you design the solar cell so that it collects these electrons that are sort of released by the photons. So ideally you get each photon that strikes the solar cell that has sufficient energy creating an electron in the electrical circuit that you connect between the top and the bottom of the cell. And in that way you convert the light into electrical current. I won a Commonwealth Scholarship to study in Canada at McMaster University, and my new thesis supervisor was showing me around the labs, and one of the other PhD students was measuring a device, and the professor who was showing me around said, and we put a black cloth over it because otherwise it responds to light like a solar cell. And, I found that the devices being studied were really ideally suited for use as solar cells, and that started me in a direction that gave me a unique approach upon the field. My PhD thesis work proved very important to my subsequent career, in that the devices that I was working on for my PhD proved to provide another way of making a solar cell that hadn't really been fully explored before. NASA in the US had launched a program to try and improve silicon solar cell efficiency, mainly for their space cell program, and we were able to show that we were doing better than all the NASA contractors in terms of the voltage we could get out for a given amount of light being shone onto the cell. For that 25% efficient cell, we use what's called the PERC cell, P-E-R-C. That's an acronym that I personally invented along with the cell. We realized that the surfaces of the cells were very important, and that's the area where improvement could be made in earlier cell designs. So we paid a lot of attention to improving the surface properties of the cells, and the structures that I'd been working on for my PhD proved very effective for doing that. That passivated emitter and rear cell, or PERC cell, it's now taken the world by storm. The third big contribution we made was the students that we trained along the way. So I have now supervised 120 PhD students in my career, but many have gone on to do wonderful things within the industry. Yeah, I'd talk about the flapping of butterfly wings, because it's, when you look at all the events that had to line up for the industry to evolve in the way it has, it was just serendipity upon serendipity that got us to where we are now. I think the pace of change is going to accelerate, but the world will, over the next coming decade or two, shift to solar energy and wind. So a huge transformation of historic significance underway at the moment.
Okay, moving on, I'll just give in a couple of words, tell you about the events in October, and then go on to say a few words about 24. So the event took place in Helsinki in October, and we have a Lappish Sami cultural program, where you can see Northern Lights being reflected on the screen. And here you can see the President of Finland, Mr. Sauli Niinistö, handing the trophy to Martin Green. A couple of words about the events. Otherwise, we organize these events every 2 years, and there's always a conference involved, and it's called the Millennium Innovation Forum. And we organize that together with our corporate and governmental and academic partners. I think what we can just say that it was an exciting event, and we had experts from all over the world talking about relevant topics like the green transition, the digital transformation, and resilience. We have also gained quite nice visibility for the prize during last year. We were covered by press or media whose reach was more than 1 billion people. Our reach in social media was 53 million. we were also streaming live, and that was could be seen globally, and there were about 1,700 articles written about the prize across 37 countries and all continents. And then a couple of words about the statistics, what kind of nominations we get. The prize is based on the nominations that we solicit from all over the world. Last time, if we look at the different technologies, the nominations were from life sciences, they were from ICT and smart systems, and energy and the environment. There has been quite a large drop in the number of nominations in the field of new materials, processes, and manufacturing. Hopefully that will also increase in the coming round. Here you can see the geographic distribution of the nominations. The largest part are coming from Europe, followed by North America, and then Asia Pacific. And the gender distribution of the nominations, the nominees were until 2020 almost exclusively men, but we paid a lot of attention to attracting also candidates being proposed who are women, and we were quite successful in that, so that almost 30% of the nominees were women. Here's a quick look at the schedule for the next round. So we will start our call for nominations in the beginning of April. We have been handing out these bookmarks during the event that you could take back home and think about people who would deserve to be nominated, maybe propose to your supervisors or the departments at your institutes and universities to make good nominations. There are many people who would deserve this who have never been nominated for this prize. So it's a prize that is based on scientific work but has led to some globally accessible, commercially viable innovations. And globally accessible also means that they should be available to any people, be they from rich countries or poor countries, or whether irrespective of their own social standing or financial strength. So we have two selection committees, one pre-selection committee that goes through the kind of the bulk of the proposals and then gives a short list to the International Selection Committee, who will complete its work in June next year. And then the board of the Technology Academy Finland will make the final decision, and the awarding ceremony will be in November 24. So, as I said, the nomination portal is open on the 1st of April, and there's 7 months' time to submit nominations. So I hope that you will take this message back home to your peers and your institutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ellilä.